Okay guys, welcome back. So in the last video I talked about the introduction to mechanics, Newton's laws and the other concepts related to Newton's laws. So in this video I will be beginning the concept or the theory of friction. Alright. Now I'll take a simple example in order to introduce you about friction. Now I'll consider this object. Right. I'll draw an object here. Like this. And I'll consider this. Now for the last videos I have been considering that this flow or this plane as frictionless. Now in this video, from this video and the videos onwards from here, I will consider this plane to be a frictional surface, right? Frictional surface. Frictional. Right? Frictional. So I'll put some force F here. Put some force F here. And since this has friction, now this object is now if this didn't have any friction, this object is going to accelerate into this way because F is equal to ma now. We're considering this mass as m. F equals ma. So the object now, if we consider the object is initially at rest, u equals 0, and so 0, u equals 0, and this object has an acceleration a in this direction. So what happens is, since F is equal to ma, this object will accelerate in this direction. Now that is the case when you have a plane that doesn't have any friction. Now what happens when the plane is frictional? Friction is a frictional surface. So when there is friction, what happens is that when this object is moving this way, friction force acts so as to oppose this motion. That means frictional force is actually a hindrance to this motion. So what happens is, if this motion is occurring in this way or happening in this way, the force or the motion that is stopping this, or that is acts as a barrier to this, should act in the opposite direction. So friction force is acting on this opposite direction here. I will take it as Ff, frictional force. So that is the theory behind friction. Now what happens is that now I will start from F equals 0. F equals 0, then I will increase F equals 1, F equals 2, F equals 3 like that up to some value. And what happens is that if this surface, consider this surface to be concrete or something, and this block to be, I'll take it as wood. So the coefficient of friction, or I'll introduce what is meant by coefficient of friction. What the coefficient of friction between concrete and wood will affect this motion. So what actually happens is, when you increase the force, you will also increase the frictional force. Now there's some instance at which this force F applied by me will win this actually the battle, right? Actually there's a battle between F and FF. So at some instance F will win this battle with FF. So till that moment F will increase as well as FF will increase. But if F increases greater than FF, the object will move in this way. If F is equal or less than FF, the object doesn't move, because frictional force will not let an object move in this way. Although now, say F is equal to 10 and FF is equal to 18 newtons. So there's a net 8 newtons in this way. So in the last video I talked about the resultant forces. So I told you that due to resultant forces, the object will accelerate in the direction of the resultant force. But what actually happens is that due to this frictional force, the object will not move in the frictional force's direction. So what actually happens is that although the frictional force is greater than the applied force, the object remains at rest. So u equals 0. So after applying the force also, if F is less than or equal to FF, V will also be 0, so the object will be stationary. Alright, so this is the introduction for frictional forces. Now I will consider this object. Now I will increase the force. I will take a simple table, right? I will take force applied here, frictional force here, and the net force. right? So what actually happens is that now this is the force applied, this is the frictional force, and this is the net force. So what actually happens is that at 0 Newton the friction will be 0, because if I didn't apply any force on this object, the friction will also not act now. Say if a car is at rest, if a car is being parked somewhere, the frictional forces are still present between the surfaces, between the tires and the floor of the between the tires of the car and the floor in which the vehicle is parked. But the frictional force will not act unless some external force is applied on an object. Although the object is stationary, that is not due to friction. That is because we have intentionally stopped that vehicle or intentionally stopped that object. So that is not due to friction. So at 0 force, the frictional force will be also 0. Now in the first part of this video, I told you that when the friction occurs because some force is applied. Frictional force is a hindrance to an object's movement. So if an object doesn't move, or if an object doesn't tend to move, the frictional force will also not act on this object. So frictional force is safe. So the force applied is safe. Frictional force is also force applied is 0. Frictional force is also 0. So the net force also will be 0. Now if what happens when I increase F to 1 newtons? F to 1 newtons. Right? When I increase the force to 1 newtons, either the frictional force will be greater than 1 or will be equal to 1. So in this video now, in order to explain to you more about frictional forces, I will consider the object in the first part of this motion to be stationary, and the frictional force and occasions in which the frictional force is equal to the force applied. So if I consider Newton 1 force applied by me, the frictional force will be also Newton 1. So in some cases the frictional force, but not in some cases, most cases the frictional force will be greater than 1, because now Newton 1 force is a very small force. If the object is very small, sometimes it will have a Newton 1 force. So for a very heavy object, say considering a vehicle, right, or a huge some block or a huge stone, right, considering such an object, the frictional force will be of a great value, because in the next videos or the series of videos that will be following this, I will be talking of what happens when an object's mass increases and what happens to the frictional force applied on that object. So in that video you will learn what happens to friction when the mass increases. So now at this moment I will just take that the frictional force until this object moves, until this object starts to move, the frictional force is equal to the force applied. Okay, so the force applied is 1 Newton, frictional force is also 1 Newton, so the net force is 0. So again the object is stationary. Now I will complete this table up to 5 Newtons, and I will consider 5 Newtons to be the force, minimum force that is needed to move this object in the horizontal direction. So at 2 also it is 2, net force 0, 3, 0, 4, 4, 0, 5 also 0. Right? 1, 1, when F is equal to 0, friction force is 0, net force 0. 1, when the F is 1, F is 1, net force is 0. And so like that you can continue up to 5. When the net force is 5, the force applied is 5, the frictional force also I have taken as 5, so the net force is 0. Alright. So if I consider Newton 5, if I consider a force of Newton 5 to be the minimum force needed to drag this object in this direction, so that the force applied can win the battle against the frictional force. So this is the minimum force applied. If I increase the force by even a decimal point, right, even by a small fraction, this object will start to move. So this condition, or this occasion, or this time at which the frictional force is just about to start, is called the limiting occasion, right? So this is the limiting occasion. Or sometimes it is called the limiting force or the limiting frictional force, so that I will talk when I am continuing this lecture. So this is called the limiting occasion. Now if I increase this force even by a small fraction, say 5.00001, the frictional force will still be 5, right? So that's a special occasion. So still be 5, so there will be a net force. So the net force is in the direction of the force applied, so the object will start to move. So this is the limiting occasion. So I will take this to be another force to be 5.1. So the frictional force will be still 5, so the net force will be 0.1. If I put a force of say 8 newtons, the friction force will be still 5 and the net force will be 3. So there will be net force 3, there is a mass for this object, so there will be an acceleration. So the object is initially at rest. So since there is an acceleration on this object will move a certain distance and have a certain velocity within a given time. So that's obvious. So what it actually happens is what is actually necessary, or what is actually the most important factor in this kind of setup is the limiting occasion in which the object just starts to move, and if we are decreasing the force from this occasion, the object will not start to move. If we are increasing the force on this object, it will start to move. So this is just like slipping over, right? Just like slipping over. Say you have some object on an inclined plane. If you give some force, that object will go up, but if you don't give that force, the object will certainly go down. So that is just like the slipping moment, right? Just like the slipping moment. So this is called the limiting occasion, and for this range from 0 to 4 newtons, right? 0 to 4 newtons, this range, the object doesn't move, and we call that the static moment, right? The static moment. So this is the static moment. Static moment, right? And after 5 newtons, after I have taken the limiting occasion as the 5 newtons, or the limiting moment as the 5 newtons, and after 5 newtons, this object has some net force in this direction, so it has some net acceleration. So this object will start to move. So that range, I will take this as 10, 5 and 5 to be another example, right? 10, 5 and 5 to be another example, so that we have some more data on this table. So this is called a static moment, this is called the limiting occasion, and after 5 newtons, after 5.1, 8, 10 or any force that is greater than 5, the limiting force, the applied force will be greater than the frictional force, so that will have some net force, so the object will start to move. So this occasion, the range of values on this side after 5 newtons is called the kinetic moment. Right? Kinetic moment, because the object moves, it has some kinetic energy or kinetic velocity, right? Is called the kinetic moment. So for an object, when you apply a force, there will be 3 occasions. There is the limiting occasion, first the static moment or the static occasions. So the static occasions will not only be a single occasion, it will be many occasions until you get the limiting occasion. So the next thing is limiting occasion, in which the object is just about to start. When you increase the force by even a small fraction, the object will actually start its motion. So that's called the limiting occasion. And if the object has started its motion, that occasion and the occasions that are following that will be called kinetic moments or kinetic occasions. So there is the introduction of frictional forces. So we have special terms in describing the forces or the frictional forces at these moments. Now, I have taken the range of values from 0 to 5 newtons as static moment. So the static moment, right? Static moment. So that at that range, the object is initially at rest. So we call the frictional forces in this range the static frictional forces, because it is in the static moment. So these are called static frictional forces. Static frictional forces, right? Static frictional forces. We also call it as Fs for simplicity, or sometimes we call FFS, frictional force static, right? FFS. And this is called the limiting moment. So the friction at that point is called the limiting friction. So this is the limiting friction. Limiting friction, right? It's sometimes also called FL or FFL or FLim or FFlim, right? Limiting frictional force. So this is the kinetic moment between, after 5 newtons, right? After 5 newtons, I call this the kinetic moment. So we call this the range of forces, frictional forces in this moment the kinetic friction. Actually, what happens for an object is the kinetic friction for that object is a constant, because whether or not you increase the force, whether you increase the force or whether you decrease the force, if it is in the range of values of the kinetic moment, the kinetic friction will be the same. The friction will not change, though the kinetic friction is actually sometimes it's called equal to the limiting friction, sometimes it is called just a little less than. So what actually happens is that it is based on the experimental data. Now in this example I have taken that the kinetic friction is the same as the limiting force. So for most of the experiments that we are taking, if you do an experiment in a lab or something, somewhere like that, you will experience that sometimes the limiting friction force is slightly greater than the kinetic friction force. So that depends. So I have actually taken the limiting friction force to be equal to the kinetic friction force. So this is called, this range of values, the 5 newtons, these values are called the kinetic frictional forces. Actually kinetic, it is not kinetic frictional forces, it should be a kinetic frictional force, because it is equal whether you are increasing the applied force or decreasing the applied force, or whether you are keeping it constant, the frictional force in the kinetic moment will be same. So I will call it the kinetic friction. Right? Kinetic friction. So the kinetic friction similarly is denoted sometimes as F kinetic F kin like this, or F kinetic, or Fk, or FFk. Right? So they are just notations that you don't need. Like Fc equals ma, there's no special term for that. Those are just notations to simplify the equations. It will be easy, and it will be easy for you to differentiate, right? So that's the introduction to static frictional forces and kinetic frictional forces. Now what you understood by this lecture is that when you increase the force, when you increase the force from 0 to some value, you will still experience this, you are still in the static moment, and the forces, the frictional forces acting on those moments are called static frictional forces. And at some instance the object is just about to move, and that is called the limiting occasion, and the force that is acting, the frictional force that is acting at that moment is called the limiting frictional force. And if you increase it by even a fraction, the object will start to move due to a net force. So the forces in that is called the kinetic moment, and the frictional forces during that range is called the kinetic friction or kinetic frictional forces. So that's the introduction to frictional forces. So in the next video I will be talking about more complex topics on frictional forces. See you then.